Hey guys, I'm breaking out pretty bad, so let's ignore that. We're not going to talk about that, at least not in this video. But I made an OnlyFans. If you guys have been paying attention, I have had my OnlyFans profile link in my last 2 or 3 video descriptions along with my referral link, but I have not said anything on my channel about it until today. And I don't really know what I want to say about it other than, you know, I've seen everyone and their mother has been making one recently, and all the power to you. You know, harness your sexuality, do whatever you want to do. It is, in this current economic period, a good way to make some extra money, or it might be your only job because a lot of people are still out of work right now. You know, no shade, no judgment, you're Gucci. But I wanted to kind of tell you guys about my journey so far. I've been on there about a month, and I'm kind of disappointed. Not disappointed is not the right word. It's just, you know, you watch these videos where girls say they've made so much money in such a small amount of time, and then part of it is, I think, yes, they have built-in followers because they had a big YouTube following already, or they had a big Twitter following, or they have a big Instagram following. Like, one area of their social media, they had a big-ish following, which allowed them to start big on OnlyFans, which I do not benefit from. I get maybe 100 views on every video, maybe. So, do not have that built-in fan base, don't have a lot of followers on Twitter or Instagram. Like, I have no fan base to speak of at all. And I've also seen girls who also don't have big followings, but they have big groups of friends. And I don't have that either. I'm very much a loner, very much a homebody. I have 2 best friends, and that's it. I barely talk to anybody else. Don't socialize, don't interact with other people. Not because I don't want to, but because I'm very awkward, and getting to know people is really hard for me. So, like, I don't have any friends. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I posted it on my socials for, like, all the people that, like, know me, and then some people that may just randomly follow me, like, on Twitter or Instagram. And it's just like, the people that know me, we're not close like that. So they're not just gonna follow me or retweet for no reason unless I, like, go out and, like, specifically ask them, oh, will you retweet this? Oh, will you shout me out? And even then, because I don't know anybody like that, very few are willing to do it for free. So, so far to the date, I think I've made about $500.
Is this really a problem you can fix?
Did not mean to click that. And I have watched a lot of other videos of people that have been successful and some of their little tips and tricks. And the thing I've found with mine, I set my subscription rate at $15 because OnlyFans takes 20%. So I wanted to make sure I was at least getting $10 because, you know, $10 adds up quicker than like 5 or 3 or 2. But I did start out with a 1-week free trial, and I got a lot of fans from that, where people just, oh, it's free, let me get it. But then those people are usually not willing to spend money either tipping you or buying content, which just means they're lurking on your page until their trial expires and then they're gone. So I've had that happen anytime I run a promotion and posted it on Twitter, whether it was another free trial or 50% off, 70% off. I've gotten a lot of fans to come in so that, you know, my fan amount looks really good, but then they don't buy anything. And I've had a lot of people where I will post on my feed, oh, you know, a new photo set's available, DM me to get it. And then they'll come into my DM and they'll be like, oh, how much? And I'll tell them. And then I'll send them a locked message that you have to pay the amount that it's tagged at to unlock the message to see what I sent. And then they never pay for it. Like, they said they wanted it. I was like, okay, and then I send it. but I'm assuming that they think that I'm going to send it without them paying first, and then they're just going to get it, and then they can, like, weasel out of paying for it, but that's not how locked messages work. Like, you have to actually unlock them first. That's happened a lot, where it's like, if maybe like a month or two from now, they finally decide they want to pay for it, it's always going to be in the message thread, so they could do that. But as of right now, they haven't. Like, I've had some people buy them, and I've had one guy come back and back and back. So that's nice. But it's not consistent with every person. Like, everybody's always like, oh, I get so many DMs, somebody this, somebody this. That doesn't happen for me. Like, I've never been tipped. It's always just, you know, either the subscription rate or they bought a set or a video or a photo or whatever it is. And then, like I said, a lot of them just leave it unopened in the message, and I'm like, you knew what the price was gonna be. Like, I don't understand. And I have a friend who has not started her page yet, but she said she was going to start one with me. She says it's probably that I attract low quality guys, and I'm like, girl, you've seen my dating history. We know this is true. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I was expecting a lot more, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm the only girl who can't sell sex. I don't know. I don't know why I'm the only person that can't seem to be successful at sex when sex sells. Like, I don't understand. I don't know if it's a vibe I put out or what, or if I'm just really not that sexy, which would not surprise me. But the thing I've done to try to get more fans is sometimes I will reach out to other OnlyFans girls and ask, like, oh, do you want to do a shout out for shout out? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, sometimes they charge, sometimes they don't. And then it all depends on how big their follower count is and how much you and her kind of like have the same vibe. Because if you have, like, if I were to go to a OnlyFans girl who was very, like, just the opposite of me, whatever I am, the opposite, I think it would be a waste of money or a waste of a retweet from her or whatever, because the people that are into her brand and her vibe are probably not into me or my vibe. So I would find people that are like you, that are putting out the same type of content as you, and then ask them for retweets or ask them for shout outs, because then at least you know their fans already like that type of vibe that you have. Which is one of the mistakes I've already made, is I've had people shout me out that don't have the same vibe as me, so then I'm not getting any fans from it. I'm not getting any real exposure from it because her fans don't vibe with me, you know? And then always go into, when you ask somebody to do a shout out for you or a retweet, always go into it expecting to pay for it, so then you're not shocked when they ask you to pay for it. And I've never done it yet, but I've also heard it's very beneficial to do shout outs on actual OnlyFans pages, not just on Twitter, which again, I have yet to do that. My back hurts. I have yet to do that because, again, I know no one. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I just more wanted to tell you that I was doing it, or if I wanted to kind of be very real about the fact that if you don't have any following and you don't have any big group of people in your life, it's very hard to be successful, because then you have to try very, very hard. You have to pay for a lot more promotions than you would think you would have to. And I do have a Twitter dedicated just for my OnlyFans and promoting it and trying to get more fans. And sometimes it works. A lot of girls, you know, if you retweet their stuff, they'll retweet yours. And that helps sometimes, but again, if you're following the wrong people that don't have your vibe, it's not really going to help you. And then it's more of trying to be active, not only on OnlyFans, but also on Twitter that you're talking about your OnlyFans. On Instagram, if you're talking about your OnlyFans. Like, you want to make sure that you're not bombarding people, but you also want to make sure they don't forget, so that if they were ever interested once, keep them interested so that eventually they might buy it. I've also had people reach out to me privately and they were like, not on OnlyFans, they're like, oh, I don't want to buy that because for whatever reason, it's not my business why they don't want to, but be warned, OnlyFans shows up on your credit card statement as OnlyFans. So if you're married or you know somebody that wants to join your page behind somebody's back or whatever it is they're doing, be aware of that. Don't condone, but be aware. Reached out and was like, oh, you know, could you just like, can I just Cash App you? And on the OnlyFans app, you're not supposed to promote your Cash Apps or Venmos because if you do that, OnlyFans doesn't get their percentage. But if you're just on Twitter and you're comfortable selling content just from Twitter, like sending it in their DMs or whatever and them just Cash Apping you, go on ahead, girl. But, you know, again, I would wait for them to pay you first before you send them anything because you don't want to get, you know, stolen from. That, what's the word? Whatever. So yeah, I'm going to keep with it. I'm going to keep with it. I'm going to try to make it successful. I know a lot of the comments are probably going to be, oh, why do you need an OnlyFans? Why do you need it? Don't you have a job? Yada. I do have a job. I have a full-time job that pays my bills. It pays all my bills. And I still have money to, you know, buy food and have fun and go live on. It's not that. It's just I have a lot of debt. Credit card debt, student debt, car payment debt, that I really, like, I can pay from my job, but I also want something that's just mine, that I'm my own boss of, that can help me pay off my loans and my debts sooner without having to work myself ragged and into the ground. And also, I've always been very, very interested in sex work. Like, I do not want to be like a call girl or a hooker or anything like that. Never been about that. But for the longest time, like years, I've thought about trying to cam. I've tried to almost do it in college, but that didn't really work out. And anytime I thought about doing it, I either chickened out or I was dating a guy who was very, very much against it. You know, and if you're doing this and you have a partner, make sure that you have clear boundaries and lines that they're okay with what you're doing and that you're okay if, like, don't do something that you wouldn't be okay with if they were doing, you know, because why would you expect them to be okay with something you wouldn't be okay with? So I just have never done it until now, and like I really enjoy it. I'm like, it makes me feel strong and beautiful and confident, and like I can just get up and do and say the things that I've always wanted to do and say but always chicken out, or my anxiety like controls me. It makes me feel like I'm finally in control of everything, in control of my money, in control of people's thoughts and opinions of me. Like, it really just, I feel like I need it. Like, not because I want men to look at me, not because I want men to want me, because I want to free myself. I want to express myself in any way that I want without there needing to be a barrier. And OnlyFans really gives me that. I just wish that I knew how to be better at it or to be more successful. But that's my overall review, or some tips, but not really, because I'm kind of failing out. I don't have any tips. But that is my month on OnlyFans. It kind of sucked, but I'm gonna keep going.